Okay, so I think we're up the right way. Excuse me. I just had a chippy and it's dry. Oh, there we go. Alright, let's just get this camera right. Okay, I wonder why it looked a bit strange. Alright, we're up the right way. We're not upside down now. So, today we're going to do, or right now we're going to do some ruler work. I have what they call a crosshair ruler. This ruler is your best friend when you're doing blocks that are a certain size, so between 6 and 12.5 inches. It helps to place and center your design. So I'll show you, just get the camera in the right posy. There we go. So say if I have let's just draw, oops, the daisy caught on it. Okay, so let's make this a 6-inch one. So we're gonna put down here. So I've got what they call a sandwich. So it's your layers of fabric together with your wadding. Okay, so I can draw to about, make my pencil a bit longer, draw to about there, and that's going to be my corner, and that's going to be my corner there, that's my center. So it works really well with these pencils. This is a sew line pencil, and it means that you can actually line up your block, put your crosshair marks on so that you know where your block starts and finishes. Sorry, I'll just go this way. I'm just going to draw it on rather than sew it on. There, that's a half, so we come back a bit, and it'll be roughly. And I'm going to put that over there. So these you can order. I'm still getting stock in from the States. They are a bit more expensive because of postage and the Australian dollar, but I can get them in. So it seems to be working okay so far. So I'm taking orders as they come. Just reposition that on I might just move that line over a fraction, just a little bit. Go. Okay, so I'll find the center. So I'm lining up these white lines that are on the ruler with the lines that I drew for my 6-inch block, and hopefully I get somewhere close. Whenever our block's ever square anyway. And I'm just drawing these crosshair lines on. I'm only going to demo a couple of these rulers today, and this is from the starter pack. Also, I'm going to show you the new kit that I got, which is called Fun and Fancy by So Steady and Westalee. And that is my center dot right there, which is also here in the ruler. So this is a crosshair ruler. This is a large one at 12.5 inches, and then there's an 8.5 inch one. So if your blocks aren't, you know, really big, then you really only need the 8.5 inch, but this also works really well too. So I'm just gonna draw in that line there a little so I can see it a bit better, and I'm ready to start using my rulers. Almost. So once I've got that drawn, I then need to go to my actual foot. Now, it's very important with your foot that it's not sitting so low. So I'll push this right down as far as it can go, just finger tight, and you don't want it sitting so it's pushing against you. I've got a slider mat on my machine, so you can see there, slider mat, and that is this fella. This is a free motion glider. Okay, and that's another So Steady product, and they are $60 Australian. It's a 12-inch by 18-inch white Teflon slip pad. It has a clean back and a pre-cut hole for the needle to go through. Now, I've got on my machine, I have my decorative couching foot, which is, it works exactly the same as a normal Westalee design foot, but it's a decorative thread ruler foot, and mine's a high shank because this machine's high shank, and the actual foot has in it, if you can see, there's like a hole in the center. It's got plastic and then a hole, and that hole is so that you can run thread through and do some couching. So I use this both for ruler work and for couching. So it kills two birds with one stone. Now, my next step is to get my foot properly sorted. So I'm going to loosen that right off. And I've got my needle in the center position. I'll just move it over here out of the way. Got my foot down, and I want to make sure that it's in the down position. It's loose. You can see it's loose. You got my foot down, see, down, and then I'm just going to finger tight, or just tighten it off. Oops, daisy, wrong way. There. It should just glide on over the top. No gap, no big gap or anything, but it should just glide over the top, just like a duck on water, okay? It shouldn't be pushing in at all. There should be no gathering of fabric. So hopefully that helps in the way you set up your ruler foot. It certainly helped me from a long time ago to know how to set it up properly. I'm also using a Mirage variegated thread so that you can see what I'm doing. Now, in this kit, this is the kit here. They are $77.50 at the moment. They are from So Steady, which is also Westalee. It's a Westalee product. And you get in there, I think it's 6 templates to get you going, so you have all those different templates across the bottom there in that kit. That's a really good place to start. Now, I'm going to start with pretty much the most basic one, and that's the circle. Now mine are fairly old, so the tape's old and all that sort of stuff. Now I've also got these little sticky things on the back of mine. You get those in your pack with your starter pack, and you can also buy them separately in packs if you like. I can order them in, and they all have, most of them do, these little gateways, so it's like a little jigsaw piece, and that gateway is there for a reason. So you need to, I've got a piece of tape on mine so I don't lose it, because I have lost one before, and this actually helps me go around. But if I ever need to, because I've got the foot down and the needle down and I don't want to cut my thread off, I can actually take that little gate out and then put it underneath without having to take the thread out. So I'll show you what I mean if I can get it out, because I've taped it in without breaking it. Okay, so oops, it is. There we go. So it just comes out like that. Okay, it's got tape all over it because I've been using it for years. All right, and then it just pushed back down in that place, just like that. All right, now because I haven't started yet, I can actually just pop that underneath there. Now I'm going to use my crosshairs as my guide of where I want to put my ruler. Now my center point is where my needle is going to go down, and to grab my thread, I can either pull up my bobbin, or I can just needle down, cut off. Why can't that be used? Oh, won't let me. It won't let me. Okay, we'll bring up the bobbin. Okay, I'll just double check that. Got that bobbin. Yeah, I've got the bobbin. Try again. I want my foot in the down position. Excuse me. I'm going to do a couple of stitches, try and cut off. There we go. So I can get rid of that little bit of thread. That's the bobbin. I might just pull that out. I don't know where it's come from. There it is. Excuse me. Make mental note not to have salt and vinegar chips just before you start a demo. There we go. We've buried that thread. Excuse me. Okay. Now, first things first, we're going to start on this first line in front of me. There's a line just here. This is the one that I drew before with the crosshair rulers. That's it there. If you don't have a crosshair ruler, you can always draw your own lines and measure it out yourself. But it does really help to have crosshair rulers. So on the actual template, there's these little white lines, and I'm going to line that up with that one and the one behind it, and making my machine a little bit slower because there's nothing happens fast with ruler work. I'm just holding that down. Now you can see I've only got 1 or 2 fingers on either side as I go around, just avoiding that needle screw. I'm not sure how this thread will go with a ruler, but we'll soon find out. And I get back to the start and stop. I might even just go a little bit slower. Ruler work is not a fast project thing, so it's slow and steady, and to be honest with you, it's the best way to go. And I don't normally sew very fast. People think I do, but it's not as fast as, you know, I've seen other people do. I've moved it from here up there. I haven't changed, I haven't cut anything. All I've done is move it from here straight up. I've realigned my lines again. I'm going to press start and go around. And what you'll notice is that the gap between the bottom of the foot and the fabric gets wider. There's a bigger gap. And the reason why there's a bigger gap is because the fabric's getting pushed down with the needle. I just need to be back in the center. Okay? Oh, I need to put comments on. I haven't seen. Oh, there we go. Hi, guys. What do we got? Marilyn, Julianne, Terry, Margaret, Colleen, Pat, Jill. Hi, everyone. Sorry I didn't have my my comments on. Okay, so I haven't moved this. All I'm going to do is go and move that sideways. I'm lining up that line there and that one there with the line I've drawn on my fabric. Okay. Press start, and this is the speed you want to be going at. Okay, you don't want to be going any faster than this, because the faster you go with rulers, the more chance you've got of making mistakes, and you've got a bigger chance of smashing your needle into that ruler. Okay, and that's how you throw your timing out on your machine and how you break your needles. So, hi Kathleen. Oh, good to hear that you're loving it. So again, I haven't moved it from the center. I've stopped there, but you can see my foot. See the gap now in between there and there? It's bigger now, so I can actually get the whole thing of the nib of my pencil underneath there. So what I need to do, and you need to do this through quilts, through your process, is just loosen that off. And as I loosen, I'll keep my fingers out of the way, hopefully you can see it. The actual foot will drop. There you go, it just dropped. And then without touching anything, I just retighten up. All right, move the template over, lining up those lines again. And I'm going to, oops, a daisy, I'm going to press start. And go all the way around back to where we began. Now again, I'm not pushing down on the ruler, I'm literally just holding it there. It's just 2 fingers on either side holding, and the rest of my fingers are on my fabric, and my palms of my gloves, with my gloves, are actually on the hi Lynette, hi Boo, on the actual fabric as well, making me hold my hands flat, stopping that tension thing, and also helping me move the fabric around and reducing resistance. So I'm going to now turn it, only because my eye will want to look straight on to that line that I've got from corner to corner. So I'm going to just move my ruler over, line up that corner one with that corner one up there. I can see it lines up there. Just hold, just like that, just hold, nice and gentle. So what you'll find you'll do when you first start is you'll press. So as soon as you press, you can't push because you're working against yourself. So when you start feeling yourself press, release, relax your hands, and press your start button. Or go, foot pedal, okay? Get my fingies out of the way. You see that needle wants to smack me in the fingers. Back to the center and pause. If you find that your needle is not right in the center, just needle up, move over a fraction, and there. Okay, now I'm going to push it that way. Now if you don't like working backwards, you are welcome to turn the fabric around. Just depends on how big your quilt is. These are also brilliant to do a quilt as you go. I've lined them up. Because you can do each block and quilt it as you go. It's all quilted, it's nice and fancy. You can do some free motion in between these if you wanted to, or around them, and you've got some really nice medallions. I'm going to turn it this way just so I can see this corner. You're going to have it either way, as long as the lines are lined up. With a circle it's not so bad. When you get to other items, it's just other shapes, you just you'll find that if you keep consistently lining up your lines with your crosshairs, then you'll do it naturally to a shape that really needs it. So circles don't really need it because it doesn't change shape all the way around, but it's a good habit to get into. There goes my finger. Oops, I got caught on that little thing, so I'm just going to roll it around just to go past that. There we go. Back to the center. Move the ruler, not the fabric. I've moved the ruler up, lined it up again, and it doesn't matter which way you go, there's no right or wrong. What it is what makes you feel comfortable. And then get around to the center and stop. I'm going to cut off there. I'm going to show you what I've done. There you are, and that's just using your circle template, which comes in your kit. Okay, so you can put those in, or you can now, if you wanted to, you can echo. You can do all sorts of things. So if you're wanting to echo, you would foot down, just grab that thread out of there. Hang on, I've got fat fingers. Look at that. There we go. Put my foot in that corner, needle down, bury my thread, because you know how much I just lost my thread. You know how much I love to not have to bury thread manually. Just rethread the needle. I cut it off too short, didn't I? That was silly. And rethread the needle. Come on, baby. I think that's it. Yeah, fairly big-eyed needle. It's a size 90 needle. top stitch, so fairly good size. I'm going to hold that thread, cut off, pull it out of the way. Now if I go nice and steady, using that ruler as the gap, I can get an echo all the way around. But I'm using my ruler as a guide of how thick or how wide I want that to be. And like I say, if you go a little bit wobbly, who cares? And you'll be using tone on tone. You're not going to have, unless you're using variegated thread, but you know, you're not going to have black thread on white fabric, you know what I mean? Like you're going to get a quilt and have, if you've got white block, you're going to use white thread. Cream blocks, you're going to use cream thread. That sort of thing, okay? Alright, so then just cut off, and I've done a bit of an echo. See? And that look awesome. So let's draw up the next block I'm going to show you today, and I'm going to show you, where is it? This one. It's called Circles on Quilts, and it's a 5.5 inch size one. There it is there. That's the shape of it, and we're going to create a really nice wreath. All right. So I'm going to first off my foot up. Oh, and the other thing too, when you've got your foot up, you can't put your needle in the complete down position because it'll hit that foot because the foot's high. So just remember that when you've got the foot up, you need to have your needle up, okay? Now, I'll draw another one here, and I'll use the edge of that as a guide. And there, and sorry, I'm knocking the camera. There, and I'm just going to lift it up one more so I can get the ruler under there, and I'm just going over to the 6-inch thing, putting the corners and lines on from the ruler on the lines I've already drawn, and that's, I've got a bit of a dip in my table. So I'm just drawing them. Oops. And I'll just move it over here so I've got a bit extra room. So I've got a bit of a dip in the table, so it stops me from being able to get through. Alright, so I'm just going to move that over there, join up those lines there. You won't have to do the whole drawing the outside of it because you're going to have a square as a block, you know what I mean? So okay, so I've done that, pop my ruler over, so I'm ready to do another. Now, this one works in a couple of different ways, so I can use it, is it this one? No, it's not that one. Which one is it? There it is. That's it, Circles on Quilts. I'm actually going to use this. And I'm just thinking how I'm going to show you this. I'm going to put a safety pin, well, not safety pin, a tack underneath. You get them in your kit as well, not that it's rocket science. So if you've got any questions, please feel free to ask. So you get those in your kit. It could be long or short, depending on what they've got, I suppose, in stock. I put it underneath and I find the center. I find my center and I push it through that center bit there find that little center. There it is there. Because I don't want the needle in that center piece. I want the ruler to sit there. It has a little hole there on it that I'm going to use. I'm just double checking that I haven't missed any comments. No. I'm turning it over. I'm going to pop that hole over the top of that little pin. Now this has an A and a B, so this is your more technical one. So I'm going to start at A, which is a little white line that goes from here, and then I'm going to finish at B. And no matter which way I go around, I either start at B and finish at A, or A and finish at B. So you'll see in a second. So I'm not going to actually start in the middle, where the middle line is. I'm going to start at A, so that's exactly where my needle will go. So foot down first. Just hold on to that thread. Foot down first. I'm going to do the cut off thing because I like my thread to disappear, like I always say. Now I am lining up the top line here with that crosshatch line there, okay, and that's my first one, and I'm going to go all the way around to B, which is on the ruler, and I'm going to go all the way up to the top, and then come all the way back down, and I'm going to stop where the line, I'm going to line my needle up with the B, okay? Then I get the ruler and I move it that way. I don't move the fabric, I move it that way, and it moves to A. So now it's back to A over here. All right, and that should line up with that crosshair. All things good. All right, I'm going to just turn my fabric around so I can see it. My crosshairs are up, are lined up, all good. Move and go and follow that around. I love this ruler. This is one of my favourites. It's so versatile. So I've gone from A all the way down to B and pause. Get my ruler, nothing else, just my ruler, and slide it around. It's pivoted on that pin and it'll line up with that next crosshair. I'm just going to turn it so it's facing me. I've got them all lined up and go around from A all the way down to B. Now remember, if you've got that full-on monkey grip going on, you need to release your fingers. So just, if you're doing these ones, start releasing your fingers. I've stopped at B, I'm going to turn my ruler. If it goes past that crosshair, I'm going to stop at the crosshair. If I go past it, it's going to change the shape of it as it goes around. Any questions at the moment while I continue to sew, or are you happy staring at me sewing? I think the beauty of this too is that it's got the pin there, which means it really can't go anywhere. So stop at B, move it, moving my fabric around so I can see it, line it up with that line and go to the next one. So this is a very nice traditional sort of wreath. Move the ruler. If I don't move the fabric, I can still go around. It's just a little bit harder for me to see where I'm going. I've got two fingers, and the rest of my fingers are on the actual fabric. So I don't have my whole hand. Oops, I went off the side of the ruler. That doesn't matter. And go around to B. Now, you're making this look so easy. Jill, I know it's not easy, but it's a slow practice. I've been doing it for a long time. Just practice. Just do one every day. Just get a piece of fabric out, or calico, bit of scrap, have a sampler quilt and do a different block every day and make it an actual quilt. So I've stopped at B. I'm going to turn to A. turn my fabric so I can see, and you'll notice that this one here is going to finish where I started. So lining up my crosshairs, and it's not rocket science. If it was rocket science, they wouldn't have sold them. No one would want them. Alright, I'm going to keep going around until I get back to where I started, which is B. Cut off, lift up my foot, take it off the pin, put my pin back exactly where I found it, which is in that little bag, because if I don't, it'll end up inside a quilt somewhere or in my shoe. So it goes straight back in the bag, right, straight back in there, seal her up, and that is Circles on Quilts. So there's your lovely wreath. Now you can go and cross hatch in the middle of it if you want to. You can create a circle by just joining the points together. So I'll show you that just for something to do. I'm just going to grab that thread out from there. There we go. And I'm going to put my needle in one of those points. Oh, that just grabbed my fabric, didn't it? There you go. There, that's better. Amazing. You're so clever. No, the person who made these rulers is clever. So I'm going to go straight line to there, straight line to there, straight line to there. I'm not going fast, as you can see. I'm just going steady. Straight line to there. I'm just using the points as a guide. There, all the way back to the start, and then I've created a little bit of a hexagon in the middle. Okay, and then you can cross hatch that. You do get your straight ruler in there, like all the edges of the rulers, the straight rulers. So if you wanted to, you can cross hatch it. You get this one in here, so if you wanted to do a curve cross hatch, you can. You can use the other side of it and do a straight edge cross hatch, so you can just go, right, let's start here, needle down, and let's go from here to straight across to the other side, and I'm just using that ruler as a guide, remembering that foot is 1/4 inch from the ruler, and then we're going to turn it. I'm going to travel the width of that there, and you put the ruler on that line you've just stitched, and you can go back up, travel that line, the width of your foot to there, come back down. How cool is that? You can travel up until you've got the width of the foot there, and go up, and then you come back down to the center of the there, and go over from here to here, just straight across, allowing for the width of your ruler. You don't want your ruler exactly, on that line, otherwise you'll go crooked. Okay, so we're getting there. Move up there a little to the width of that ruler, and then straight across. Go down the width of the foot, I should say, not the ruler. And down. As long as you're not too hard on yourself. I think people put too much pressure on themselves. Okay, and then we travel back down that line again, and one bit further, because we want to be the width of that foot away from that line. And then we're going to come down this way. I've put the ruler against the previous stitch line. Come down now, go up the width of that foot, go back up against the ruler, down the width of that foot, move the ruler across and down, and then I'm going to travel back up that previous stitch line, stop there and turn my piece of work because I can see that I'm too close. It's gone over the line. Trisha, yeah, look, it's not easy, but it's not overly hard either. Like I say, it's practice, and you won't see all the indiscretions if you're using tone on tone. So if you're using white fabric, white thread, you're seeing all my little indiscretions, which is fine by me because, you know, I always say I'm not perfect, but I'm happy. You know, if you're doing it on tone, you won't see all those, but there you are, it's crosshatched now. So it just shows you can utilize your rulers in so many different ways. But that is the Westalee starter pack, and it has all those rulers in and more. There's 6 rulers altogether. Now, just quickly before you go, I'll just show you the new set that's come out. It's called, I'll just get this up here, just there we go. It's called Fun and Fancy. Fun and Fancy. So I'm just going to lift it up a little bit more. There we go. So Fun and Fancy. So what you get in here, it's a how-to. So let's get that out first. So you get a book, and the book walks you through. Oops, guys, it's tight. The book walks you through all the steps on making all the different things, see, with the rulers that are in the kit. It goes through every step one by one. There's the circle we just did. Okay, you can even make it even more so. So this is Fun and Fancy. It's quite a good book, quite big. It's got about 58, 59 pages in it, and it's got all sorts of things, and it shows you different ways to do borders. It's an absolute gem of a book, but you only get that when you get the Fun and Fancy collection. So this has the 5 rulers in it, and they are all in there. So you can get this instead of the starter kit, which is just as good. And to top it off, you also get a bonus education. You can't read that, it's back to front. So this actually says, Kate Quinn's Fun and Sassy Tabletopper project is in there. It's a bonus education feature. So you can visit the university, So Steady University, and use your coupon and get yourself a bonus feature. The other thing is you can get $75 off Path to Ruler Work, which is a quilting course on the university as well, using the code, the redeemable code. Okay, so there's a couple of bonuses on there for you when you get the kit. The kit's worth $130, so it's not cheap, but I tell you what, the information in there, I never had this when I first started, and wow. And it's got a table of contents, it's got everything in there. It'll teach you more than I could ever do. Look at that. That's amazing. So this is Fun and Fancy. It won't be on the website. I've literally only got it in last week or this week. And I have a few left. So you just need to know whether you're a high shank or low shank. You need your ruler foot, and then you're off and running. So I hope I've covered everything for now. You've got the crosshair rulers. I've covered the kit. I've covered the starter kit as well, which is the one I used, and also the Fun and Fancy. If you're interested in any of the products I've shown you today or demonstrated, just send me a PM and I will work it out either over the weekend and send you an invoice probably on Monday, Tuesday. So let me know whether you're interested. The other thing is I use my gloves, always have my gloves on. They are my, I think they call them, I can't remember what they call them. I just call them my super duper gloves. But I have them here in stock, and they're $36 a pair. And I've had these for years and years. Caroline, the kit is $130 without your ruler foot, so you'd need a ruler foot. But I tell you what, that book in itself, that book would have to be worth at least $40, $50, and then your templates, a pack of 5 would be about 70. Well, a pack of 6 is 77, so Yeah, so that's really good value. All right, so I will chat to you soon. I think I am off to go and take my daughter to work soon, and I'll be back at 4 o'clock, I think it is, to do another demo, and I will see you then. No, I don't, Lynette, but I can always do a lay-by. I'm happy to do that, and I'm happy to send it off, and you can do it that way. Okay, so I trust all my customers. My customers are my babies. And Pam, you would love one, so just send me a quick PM, love, just because I can't write down while I'm demoing and holding a camera at the same time. But yeah, look, seriously, send me a PM, and then I'll start writing down orders and things like that. So if Lynette, just send me a PM about the Afterpay. I'm happy to organise something with you, not a problem. Chat to you, that great session. Will PM with order. Thanks, Jill. Talk to you soon. If I run out of them, I will place another order straight away. And yeah, sure, Lynette, thanks. And I can always order them in. They really didn't take too long to get over here. It was around about 3-4 weeks. Julianne, I'm not too sure about the book. I can try and find out if it's separate. I don't think it is. But I can see if they've got other books and have a look. So if there's enough interest in there, I can start getting some of this stuff in. Thanks, Trish. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Glad to be able to show you something. And look, like I say, make a quilt, one a week. Just do one block a week. And you can quilt as you go and then join it together. And voila, you've got a sampler quilt in no time. So you can do one a day. It's really, really easy to do. It's just practice. Don't try and be perfect. Be happy. See you soon. Thanks, Pam.